I think you're being very unfair and dishonest with yourself if you utter words such as, I have never challenged or questioned my emotional integrity while in a relationship. Hi, guys. Tiana Laws, your relationship and intimacy consultant. Recently, as I always am, I was called to support a ladies' night. And I didn't know this before I got there, but when I got there, I realized it was in support of a very good friend's relationship. She is actually in a domestic violent relationship and has been for many, many years. And while I praise her girlfriends, I mean, it takes amazing friends to want to pull somebody in, to help you, to support you, to ground you, to show you that you can do anything. You can lead that relationship, and here's how. These are the steps, and here's what we have in place for you. I credit and I admire friendships as such. However, however, the one thing that I am challenged with is how we sometimes as women are quick to point a finger, are quick to point a finger at those who might have compromised their integrity differently from how we have. And myself being a survivor many, many years ago, and many of you who are survivors can understand that and attest to how we have challenged or undermined our own emotional integrity. One of the arguments that posed in this girls' night, ladies' night, thing was that with all of the money she has, with all of the support she has, bringing me in as the professional, why does she stay? How is it that she could be okay with somebody abusing her the way in which she's being abused? And let me just stop right here. They are well aware that I'm going to be doing a post. The only thing is that I told them I would never utter the names in which we are referring to, right? And of course, that's all a part of confidentiality. But I say this to say, I think this is a great learning point for many of you, in that being in a relationship, period, whether they are physically abusing you, emotionally abusing you or not, is challenging. And I would say in many instances, for most of us, you may have one or two who have never challenged their integrity being involved with a spouse or an intimate partner. Good for you. But for the most part, we all have. We have done it, probably some similar and some differently. But the reality is, we have no room to really point a finger, to challenge, or even discredit. And while we may not feel like we're discrediting our friend or our sisters, we are. The moment we say, why do you just stay? Why don't you leave? You have everything you need to leave. So what I want to share with you ladies today, and the point I want to make, is that while we all have the gift of gab for somebody else's situation, how you should run a relationship, how you should run your business, what you should do in school, what you should do at work, how you should lose weight, how you should eat, what doctor you should use, what diet plan or pill not to take. I mean, what car to get, what house you should get, what brand you should support. While we all have those opinions, the one thing that I want to implore of many viewers, all of you to be correct, is domestic violence awareness and prevention month is every year in October, alongside breast cancer awareness month as well. I want to see more about it. One, domestic violence in Bermuda, more so. But I also want you ladies, even men, to be more supportive. The last thing anybody wants to hear, before we ended this women's night the other day, guess what? I had to more so walk all those friends off the ledge of trying to control how she should navigate this relationship. Something, and when you are in abusive relationships, it's very hard to disconnect from control. Why? Because we become so accustomed. I often say, if you get up every day and you go for a run, and you've been doing it for 6 months. You started off running for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 3 minutes. You're now running at 3 hours. The reason you're able to accomplish this is because it becomes a habit. Your body becomes accustomed to it. You become conditioned to it. The same applies in abusive relationships. And I'm saying this because I say this quite often as a private domestic violence support source. It becomes a conditioning that we become accustomed to. And although most of us know it is not nice, although most of us could see it a mile away, it becomes a part of us. So I want to share one. We need to talk more about domestic violence, abuse, prevention, awareness, and everything in between. But I think what's important as well is sharing more education and the awareness is around how do we now better educate the population, the community at large. Because yes, many are being or have been in abusive relationships, but there are also many that haven't. There are those who have been and have overcome abusive relationships, myself as one, but we forget sometimes. When we move on and get those healthy relationships, we forget very easily. So before I go on a tirade and continue tirade, I want to share that instead of advising somebody as to how they should walk away, find out firstly why they stay. Once you find out what's keeping those ties, it's easier to help them unravel the reason, the commitment, their conditioning, versus we know if you stay, you're going to die. I've told many people that. If you continue down this path, what happens when he or she throws you at the corner of that bed or table and you become a vegetable? You're sitting up in the hospital bed, and those of you listening, I'll say this. You're laying up in a hospital bed with a straw hanging out of your mouth. Your hair all over the place, and you're just like, this is real. What happens when that happens? Because in some instances, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. What happens when you don't even have the opportunity to lay up in a bed, but in a box 6 feet deep? Yeah, all that's real talk. But the reality is, guys, until it happens, most times, we haven't a clue what that can look like. And so we need to find out from people why. What is it that hurls you to that relationship knowing it's so unhealthy? I know you love them. I know you have 10 children or one. I know you have a mortgage together. I know you've been together since you started dating. I know you believe in them. I know you feel all him or her. I know you know that nobody in their family believes in them or trusts them. I know you know all the things that connects with them. We've built a future together. I know all of that. But just like many of us who gain weight unexpectedly, 58 pounds when I lost my brother last year, April. I have been to every trainer overseas when I was in school, trainers here, I've paid them. I've had all sorts of diet plans, nutritionists and everything else. But until I gained that 58 pounds, up until 3-4 months ago, and was unable to fit in all of my clothes, and was disgusted with myself, not even shopping where I would repeat these same garments, until I was good and tight and fed up with it, I did something about it. Praise God, I'm still here to say that I've lost weight and I'm working on it. But it was up to me. In the meantime, I had people like my girlfriends, Kim and Dion, and all the friends in my life that are physically fit, encouraging me, sharing decent diet plans with me, workout plans and regimes with me. But the underlying issue was I hadn't managed my grief, and it's still challenging for me. But until I got to a place what was underlying all of my weight gain, everybody could give me every bit of support they needed. Once I was able to speak that I am struggling because I miss my brother, I know why I'm struggling. Once I was able to identify why I was gaining that weight, I've been losing weight ever since. I hope that scenario helped you guys. I'm just trying to help you guys to get this better. We see every year Domestic violence is physical, emotional, spirit. We got all of that. Narcissistic behavior. We got all of that. And the internet gives us every definition as to what that looks like. But until you're literally living it and people needing to get away from it, we have to meet them where they are at. Hopefully, I've helped someone today. Because I know when I did that latest night, every last one of there's 7 women who walked away, including the 8th person, which I found out afterwards they got me in to see. Once we all walked away, they were so thankful because they even said, they even had tears. They were like, Tina, thank you so much, because they had been unfair to her. She's struggling with trying to fit in with everybody, trying to make everybody happy. You know, friends even saying, if you're going to stay with him, I'm cutting you off. I'm leaving you alone. I'm done with you. That don't help. That just further creates a space of, let me flock to what I know and what I know best. Let me flock to him or her because I know that he would and she would love me so much more, treat me really, really well, buy me flowers, give me gifts for the first couple of weeks, because they know now I've disconnected from my friends and family because they don't understand. So rather than us throwing out the definitions and how that looks on paper, I thought I'll come to you as what it looks like, not only as a survivor many, many years ago, but as one who continues to work with private clients as it relates to domestic violence. Anyway, guys, Tina Lodge, your relationship rescue strategist. That's exactly who and what I represent. And I felt like I need to share this with you guys because this is our reality. And the other thing the other myth I want everybody to get away from is that because you feel like you are ambitious and powerful in your working or your career, and you've walked away from domestic violence in the past, or you've had parents or family members that have experienced or displayed these behaviors in front of you, and you feel like, I've got this. Please note that there are many who still find themselves, as we speak, challenged with these relationships. So please, I've said this for years. 9 years ago, I started my business under construction. Removing the mask Fridays. What removing the mask signifies is there's no face, no race, no socioeconomic background, no culture, no nothing that eliminates you, me, or them from connecting, marrying, or divorcing an abuser. Talk soon.